Welcome back, everybody out there in Fragrance La La Land and YouTube. Thanks for joining me here again on my channel, Stephen Sturgill. I'm your host for the next few minutes. Guys, today we're not looking at oud for a change. We are looking at Parfums de Marley, Herod. Got this off a very successful eBayer with a super high rating. And I'm going to be comparing that just a little bit. That's not the main theme of the show. To this guy, Puro by Nejma. I think they have a bunch of Nejmas, like Nejma 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blah, blah, blah. But this one's really hard to find, and it's a tobacco-based scent. That's why it's called Puro, which means cigar in Spanish. Firstly, this guy here, Parfums de Marley, which I'd heard so much about. And I'm a huge fan of tobacco, leather, and and spice and things like that. You know, masculine, heady, sensual, sensuous type scents with cardamom and things like that. This, I have to be totally blunt, full transparency, was not crazy about at all. And let's get into why. Firstly, the nose on this. I can already hear the hate spam starting. Oh, you don't know anything you're talking about. Herod is the best on earth. It's the greatest scent to ever exist. You know. But guys, each to their own. We all have different tastes. We all get different things from fragrances. We have different noses and different sensibilities. While I totally respect lovers of Herod out there, I'm not trying to throw shade at you. I'm not dissing you or your perfect scent or cologne or perfume, however you want to call it. It's just not for me. But before we get into that, the nose on this was Olivier Péchot, and he's done a slew of things. I'm not going to, definitely, we'd be here for an hour if I try to mention every one of them by name, but I'm going to highlight just a few. He did Maryland Blue from the House of Andy Warhol. He's done Azaro, which explains some stuff. He did Pour Homme Intense, Chrome Legend, Jet Lag, and Chrome Pure. He's done a little bit of Dior, a Higher and Higher Black. Those are pretty old compared to current stuff, 01 and 02 respectively. He's done some Davidoff Amber Blend, which was pretty well received in the frag community. That dropped in 2016, or Horizon Extreme last year, and Horizon, the Gold Juice, the year before in 2016. He's done just a slew of Diptyque France. He's done some Duetto, which I wouldn't mind getting my nose on, including City Love and City Oud. Those look very playful. And for you ladies out there, he did Lady Cool. Not sure how those were received. Never heard of them, to be quite honest. He did some really high dollar looking ex nihilo perfumes, including Midnight Special and Amber Sky, which dropped in 2016 and 2017. Not in that order, but if you reverse them. He did one I'd really like to get my nose on, Oud Vert Intense from Fragrance du Bois. Or maybe it's Dubois, but it looks like. But now that I know there's an Italian house called Bois, I'm not so sure anymore. But I would say that's Dubois. Most likely French. Okay, he's done some Vanderbilt, some Heidi Klum, Shine. He's done some Jill Sander, Kenzo. He did Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum and Totem Orange. Really wicked, cool bottle on the Totem Orange. Wouldn't mind getting my nose on that. That is a unisex, whereas the Kenzo Homme is obviously just man. He did some L'Enfant, Arpège pour Homme. Beautiful sort of a Mont Blanc type bottle, sort of minimalist. Sort of throwback to the 60s meets the 80s. He's done quite a few Mont Blancs, including Legend Intense, Legend Night, Legend Special Edition 2012, and Special Edition 2014. Which is probably nothing more than a marketing ploy. I mean, my God, did you really need another Legend Special Edition after you already dropped one? Anyways, I don't have time to go on a rant. One I really like to get my nose on. I've seen it before. It's just very hard to find. I think it's an import. It's from Northfield's Taylor's Pour Homme. Really good looking, classy, simple bottle. Very classy looking. Now, I'm going to save the best for last, and I'm not going to mention that for a second. He did Paul Smith Extreme Men, which I believe, shout out to Mark Robes 08. I think he reviewed that. One of the only guys that I know out of Fratcom. There's been maybe one or two others since then, but I think he was the original, or certainly one of the original reviewers of that very, very somewhat hard to find frag, which dropped way back in 03. He did Pierre Balmain Homme. Cool looking bottle. Wouldn't mind getting my nose on that. That dropped about 3 years ago. He did Precious Leather. Also would love to get my nose on that from Roberto Cavalli. That's a unisex, but I'm expecting good things out of that leather. May not get it. Sandalia Low. Beautiful, beautiful bottle. Absolutely would love to get my nose on that. Gorgeous bottle from Soir d'Orient, Sicily. Female, which it was unisex. It might be, but they're listing it as female. He did Valentino Noir Absolute Musk Essence. 2018. That's one of the newest frags to drop from the House of Valentino. And that's part of their Absolute line, or Noir Absolute in particular, Musk Essence. Or Musk Essence for you non-French speakers out there. He did some Yoji Yamamoto, including Senses, Om, Yoji, and Yoji Central. On and on and on. Iris Noir from the house of Yves Roche, or Rocher. Voile d'Ambre. And Yves Saint Laurent. Did Kuro Silver. And then from Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he did Myth Bloom, Myth Wood, Supreme Pour Homme, Supreme Pour Femme, Zlatan Pour Homme. Okay, like I said, I'd save the best for last. Here's why for me this is an epic fail. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3, and I would show you the bottle because I had it, but I sprayed every last freaking millimeter out of it. Micron. 1 million by Paco Rabanne. And I'm sorry, guys, you can laugh at me all you want, but 1 million by Paco Rabanne drags this through the dirt, through the ground, kicks the living snot out of it, and then leaves it for dead and says, I'll see you next year. This doesn't hold a candle to 1 million. Now, what do I mean by that? I know you're going to be just up in arms saying, but Steve, 1 million's a designer scent. It was all the rage. It was oversold, overdone. Oh, no, it wasn't. The reason it was sold like that, guys, is because it kicks ASS, period. It brings it. It pulls no punches. You know, if you've got a 22 short, it's got a sawed-off 12 gauge. If you've got a 308, it's got a howitzer. 1 million Paco Rabanne is, in my opinion, the best there ever was or ever will be for that exact type of scent. For that type of signature aroma where you've got spice, you've got tobacco, you've got leather, you've got a little bit of cinnamon. I don't know what all goodness, juicy goodness is in there. It is so freaking magnetic sexy. I don't think I've ever gotten more compliments. Not that I base any of my reviews nor likes of perfumes on compliment getting, but I don't think I've ever had more stronger compliments than when I wore 1 million. It was my daily go-to scent at work, and it killed it. Guys, it killed it. This is like a triple week afterthought of 1 million. This is soft. This is sweet. The tobacco in here is more of a potpourri-ish type blonde pipe tobacco. I was expecting like tobacco, like Havana, you know what I mean? Like Havana, Cuba. I was expecting Cuban, like Cohiba or Monte Cristo, like pure, raw, smoky, aged, hardcore tobacco with hardcore rawhide meets silky leather like inside a Ferrari. Mixed with a little bit of cardamom, just a hint of cinnamon, and just a tad of vanilla. Don't go too heavy on the vanilla. And some other, maybe a little bit of fougere, a little bit of spicy oriental. That's what I was wanting and expecting Herod to be. And it's not. Now let's get into what it smells like to my nose. I would just not be able to go out and buy a bottle of this. I'm sorry, guys, but after 1 million is out there on the block, it's, you know, it's good for what it is. I will say that it's pretty good for what it is, but it has this like star anise. I don't know. It has a little bit of a band-aid thing going on in there, along with that star anise. And the leather's just not nearly robust enough. It's in there, certainly, but it's not robust enough. The tobacco is not terrible. It's not that it's a bad quality. I'm not saying anything in this in Harriet is bad quality. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's good quality juice. But, you know, getting past that little potpourri tobacco and the little whiff of soft vanilla, and sure, there's a little cinnamon, there's a little cigarette ash butt in here, which is kind of bizarre. But past that accord and maybe one or two other ingredients, there's just not a whole heck of a lot more going on in here. It's, quite honestly, if you get past the fact that you're telling your mind there's tobacco, there's leather, there's spice, there's cinnamon, there's vanilla, it's kind of a one accord type juice. It just kind of has this one dimension and maybe one other smaller tiny accord going on, but I mean not enough to change the story. It's sort of very unilinear in a weird way. I don't know if that makes sense or not. See, this is where just 1 million just slays this, because 1 million with Paco Rabanne, it just develops this massive cloud of sensuality, of tobacco, of leather, of spice, of sweetness. There's a sweetness in here, but I don't know. It's almost honey floral, if that makes sense. Maybe there is some honey in here. I don't know. There probably is some honey. It's interesting. It's good for what it is, but am I going to go out and spend $250 for a bottle of this when I go down the street and buy 1 million for $60? I can buy the big bottle of 1 million for $75, the ginormous 6.7 ounce. I can buy that for about, 75 to $85. And I'm covered for probably the better part of a year. Whereas if I go buy a $300 bottle of Harriet by Parfums de Marley, sure, I'm not going to use it every day. I get that, but I'm just talking about punch for punch value. 1 million was stronger on my skin. I wore Harriet a week or two ago, and it only pushed hard for about 2 to 3 hours. And after that, it became a scent and bubble. And after another couple hours, it was just a skin scent. And again, it didn't really change that much. It was kind of odd in that regard. I expected more of a story, more development. It pretty much just stayed kind of right here in that little sweet, like I said, vanilla meets tobacco meets cigarette butt ash, with a little bit of like star anise thrown in, or some kind of boozy cinnamon type rum or something, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm not trying to oversell it. There's very little of that in there, but I mean, there's something like that in there. Don't get your hopes up if you're looking for something that's boozy or cinnamon laden. It's not a whole lot of that going on. I think you'd be much better served by going back to 1 million Paco Rabanne and calling it a day. Or even the 1 million with the dollar, you know, the special edition that dropped much later in 2014, which really I think was nothing more than a reformulation, to be quite honest. They also had the Cologne, which dropped in 2015, and then they had the Eau de Toilette Collector Edition, which dropped in 2017. I never got my nose on that. I have no idea if that's better or worse. I think they're saying that the $sign one had grapefruit, blood orange, and mint. That's right, yes. It had rose and mint. So that's turning way left field from what 1 million is. The original 1 million is just It's divine. It is absolutely divine. Um, I guess it's supposed to have those same things in there. I didn't know that. I didn't detect blood orange, nor grapefruit, nor mint, nor rose. And I got mainly leather and just a crap load of spice, cinnamon, some patchouli and amber, and some kind of woods. Yeah, I got that for sure. I got very little mint or rose. Maybe if I go back and revisit, I might get the blood orange and grapefruit essences, but those are going to be way subservient, excuse me, to the leather, the spice, the amber, the patchouli, and the woods. That's mainly what my nose got and what I associate Paco Rabanne 1 million. But I just think, guys, it's just so divine. It's underrated in Fragrantica because they're a bunch of fragrance snobs. Well, they're not all that way, but many of them are, and they think, oh, how dare you like a Paco Rabanne designer scent? Oh, sorry, guys, I don't roll that way. I don't care where you get your juice from, if it's designer or niche or some kind of mashup marriage, Frankenstein marriage. I don't pull punches, and you'd best bring it if you're going to be on my channel, because that's the way I see it. That's the way I call it. Not trying to be offensive, you know. It's just, if I could be just blunt, Herod, it's not terrible. It's not bad for what it is. It's good quality stuff, but it's not that sexy. It's really not. And at least to my sensibilities and my olfactory senses, it's just not that desirable. It's not that great to smell. I don't want to go around smelling like this. I'm sorry, I just don't. And I won't, for that matter. No, that's just a massive pass for me. But I'm not, again, throwing shade. I know it may sound like that in my tonality. I just get hyped. I get passionate about what I'm smelling, what I don't like, what I love, what I like. But for you guys out there, you Herod lovers, more power to you, man. I mean, look, we're all in this frag game for personal reasons. We like what we like. We rock what we rock. I'm not telling you not to get your nose on this. If you want to, go ahead and get you a decant or a sample. Please, for the love of God, before you pull the trigger on a $300 bottle of juice. That's going to do it. I hate to be disappointing, and I don't need the haters and the hate mail, but for my dollar, 1 million just wipes the floor with Herod. It's just, it is what it is. For my taste, at any rate. I will see you guys next time if you decide to tune back in. If not, arrivederci, and thanks for staying. It's been fun. If you like, please subscribe and click the bell. Future updates. Again, the cutoff date, we are exactly about a week away. It's the 31st for those of you who want to participate and maybe win a prize or two. Okay? I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.